we saw a number of independent practitioners, whether that's OT, PT, and chiropractic actually, they were all using this model of just creating a super bill and having the client seek reimbursement. And eventually you do get the money back. It can take up to a year, but that could be another option for some of your clients if you're not credentialed with a specific insurance company.
That's actually a good idea for some that I'm struggling with right now. I guess I just need to do more research how to do that. Because again, it's confusing. So like United Healthcare, for example, you can charge $1,000. You can spend 10 hours with the patient, do the best care ever. They're going to give you $70. It doesn't matter what you did, how long you spend for physical therapy, you get $70 for that session. So, but then, Blue Cross, they do it totally different. So I don't know, super billing, like, I get there's still a lot I don't know. Like when I send out a super bill, is it based on what they charge or is it based on what they reimburse? But I do know of other clinic owners that branched off from one company I used to work for, and I know they do super billing and peruse their website. So actually, that's a great idea. I'm going to look more into that for the complicated ones. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay, Lisa?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, great. Well, I want to welcome everyone to 1 Million Cups. I'm Sonia Doing, one of your coordinators.
Guys, we're getting started and Sonia's giving the slide deck. So
the voice from beyond.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So 1 Million Cups, if you didn't know, is a national organization where we have an entrepreneur come and share their journey. Don't forget to check in when you scan the code 3 times. If you check in 3 times, not all in the same day, but each time you come, 3 times you get a pen. After 6 times, you get a notebook. So go and see Lisa if you've scanned in and you get a little code that says, "Congrats, you won a thing." All right, next up. All right, and our mission at 1 Million Cups is to lower the barriers to access to education, resources, everything. An entrepreneur needs to grow and take that next step in their journey. And our local mission is to make sure that what you guys come to is an interesting event. We don't just let anyone step up on the stage. We don't want someone who's going to try to sell you their product. We are here to help them think about their business in a new way. Yeah, and so next up, I do not have these slides memorized. I think we are the only, yeah, there we are. We are the only organization in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And there is a group in Las Cruces that's considering starting up 1 Million Cups. So I hope they do start coming. They wanted to see how we run ours. So hopefully that happens soon. Otherwise, there are presentations that happen all across the US at 9 a.m. So if you've presented at 1 Million Cups Albuquerque, you could look at presenting at other 1 Million Cups across the country, because many of them are hybrid or some of them are just virtual as well. And the next slide, which I should have noticed when you did it. All right, key pillars, right? Like I said, it's not someone trying to pitch you. It's a presentation. And we also hope to see authentic connections. The great thing that happens after 1 Million Cups is there are so many conversations. We eventually have to kick people out of the room because everybody just wants to chat and connect with each other, which is awesome because you're helping each other. You're making real connections. And yeah, that's what we want to see. And it's run for the community, by the community. So all of us who do this every Wednesday, we have full-time jobs. We have our own businesses to run, but we love being here. And some of you here also come in and help, and I really appreciate that. And then we also want to be radically and intentionally inclusive. So that means all entrepreneurs and all businesses. So we want to see everything. Now, if you have a business, I'll get to that in a second. I'm not going to read the mission, but I'm going to tell you You don't have to do this alone. If you know someone who's running a business, have them come out to 1 Million Cups, get to know us, ask us questions, ask people in the audience questions. Someone knows the resource that you need to get to the next step. Next slide, please. And if you have a business and you sold something to more than just your mother, as Paul likes to say, then please apply to present. We do make exceptions. If you have an idea for a business, we'd love you to present. We generally would like you to have sold something, because oftentimes once you get an idea, you find out you have to pivot in order to make that product correct for your audience. But if you have an idea, we're willing to talk about you presenting. If you have a nonprofit that serves entrepreneurs, if you have an entrepreneurial resource, we'd love to hear from you. And you can apply at that link that's on the screen. All right, and here are all our awesome 1 Million Cups organizers. And you can see we all have our own things that we have to do. Paul Sauter, Chief Scientific Officer of Equiseek, is out roaming today. Lisa Adkins, the COO of Fat Pipe ABQ, is right there at the computer. Eric Renz Whitmore, ecosystem developer for City of Santa Fe, is probably in Santa Fe today. We have Danielle Slepeski. Danielle, I will get that last name right eventually. She is end-of-life coach. I'm Sonia Doing. I'm CEO of Plot Duckies Publishing. And we also have Kakoa and Oscar. They're founders of Legacy Family Documentaries. And right, so we all have our own things to do, but we love running this program. Our sponsors, we have Fat Pipe ABQ, which is the space that it is running out of. It has always run out of. So thank you, Lisa and Stu, for letting this event happen there every week. We have Foundation for Sustainable Living, who buys our coffee, thank goodness, because we need that. We also have Dry Heat Photography. Deanna, is Deanna there today?
Yeah,
Yes.
she's here.
Hi, Deanna.
Hi.
Thank you for being there and being our official photographer. We have Beyond Energy, who has brought energy drinks. So if you're not into coffee, maybe check out those energy drinks. We have Noventum Custom Software, and Brian, thank you so much. He and his team bring, well, usually donuts. Sometimes Brian bakes his own goods. So thank you, Brian.
They're here today.
Yay. And they're what?
Still warm.
Oh, Brian. I wish I was not gluten-free. Miriam brings the creamer from, and she also runs her business, More Than Organized. Carrie runs Minuteman Press. If you ever need any kind of printing done, go see Minuteman Press. And I believe that's it for me.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Good morning, everyone. And Sonia, it's Slew Pesky. So it's an interesting one, especially here in New Mexico.
All right,
There's a lot
hold
of
on.
ski.
Okay, Danielle Slew-Pesky.
Correct.
Slew-Pesky.
Yes.
All right,
Slew
I got it.
All right, we're good. Oh, and with that, I would like to introduce one of the few other New Mexico skis. And with that, we have Julia Nowinski, who is presenting today with her company Ascension Physio. I'm really excited. It's really cool to have these new practices coming in. Like we had the cervical chiropractic with Olivia recently, and now we have this fantastic Ascension Physio. So you want to come on up? Excited for
Hi, I'm Dr. Julia Nowinski. I'm the founder of Ascension Physio, where I do physical therapy for orthopedic conditions, scoliosis, and women's health pelvic floor. So overview of what I'll go over today. And I'm going to start with just a little bit more about myself. So I earned my Doctor of Physical Therapy degree from the University of Australia, or University of Melbourne in Australia. And I also have a bachelor's of kinesiology from the University of British Columbia in Canada. So I'm originally Canadian, moved around a lot. I did high school in the States, went back to Canada for undergrad, and then ultimately decided to go to Australia for post-grad. Just looking at who else speaks English, also because Canada is only doing the master's physical therapy degree at the time, and I knew the States was doing the doctorate, but they wanted some prerequisites that like physics that covers light and magnetism that I didn't feel like applied. So I looked at who else spoke English, ended up in Australia, and relocated here in June of last year when my husband joined the Air Force and got stationed at Kirtland. He's also a physical therapist. I applied to be active duty as well, but because of my foreign degree was disqualified. But I think it was a blessing in disguise. And since my husband got to start this exciting new journey, I wanted an exciting new journey and thought I would start my own clinic. So I started Ascension Physio. I started kind of doing paperwork and getting all of that stuff going in August, and went through 3 failed lease negotiations before I finally ended up at Montgomery and Wantabeau, and opened my doors in October. So I've got a hybrid cash and insurance-based model, but I am predominantly seeing insurance patients. I specialize in manual therapy for orthopedic conditions like back pain, knee pain, musculoskeletal. I'm also trained in the Schroth method to treat scoliosis for adolescents and adults. And I'm trained in pelvic floor therapy, predominantly for women for issues like incontinence, pelvic pain, and prolapse. So my vision and mission, my company Ascension Physio prides itself on combining the best physical therapy practices from around the globe, my international background, to deliver high quality individualized treatments. It's a patient-first clinic that will always listen to your needs, offer compassion, and I believe that delivering healthcare is a basic human right. And so that's how I view healthcare, which will get into one of my goals and challenges. So these are my goals. I would like to become my own billing expert since I am accepting insurance. Knowing my worth kind of gets into pricing and things like that. And then building community trust, which is great to start with this community here. So those are my big goals for this year. So my first challenge is insurance reimbursement. So all of my initial claims were rejected by insurance. I have no prior billing experience. And everyone's insurance situation is unique, which makes it extra difficult. So you learn one, but then the next person, just because they also have Medicare, they don't have a supplemental, and now I'm not in network with their supplemental. And so I have figured some things out. I have had some claims reimbursed, but it's still just a really tricky landscape to navigate. Co-insurance, I find particularly confusing. I mean, a copay, yeah, you give me $20 and I figure out the rest of insurance, but co-insurance, when you owe a percentage of the visit, but I actually don't know how much the visit is going to cost until the end, and I've determined what treatments I've done and billed for those. So I have talked to my previous clinic manager and asked how they did it, and they had like a table, and it was, if your co-insurance is this percent, you'll pay this dollar amount, and then we'll ask you for the rest if there's anything more to collect at the end. So there's different ways to go about it, but that one's kind of thrown me for a loop for sure. So my big ask is, if anyone of you or you know anyone who has medical billing experience, I need all of the help that I can get. I currently accept Blue Cross Blue Shield, Medicare, just got in with Medicaid, and I will be in with Presbyterian on February 15th, and I am a non-network TRICARE approved provider. And I'll attempt to be fully in network with TRICARE when they hopefully open applications next month. So that's probably my biggest ask. Next up is pricing my services. So I have had one cash patient. The rest have been insurance, but obviously it's still a much more simpler route to go if you're just charging cash than trying to follow with these insurance companies. And some of them are, 30 days out from reimbursing you. You see a patient, you're not going to see, well, in my case, it's more like 60 days if I, get my first claim rejected. So Being able to increase the cash part of my business would be beneficial. So typically in physical therapy, it's just been pay as you go. You show up for your visit, you know what's gonna cost, you pay. The chiropractic model has typically been packages, and physical therapy is starting to kind of look at that. And right now, it just looks like, oh, here's like a bundle of 3 visits or a bundle of 5 visits, and you get a little discount versus, oh, pay for your whole plan of care upfront. That's a kind of a newer concept to physical therapy. So I've looked at doing something like an unlimited PT package, but I kind of go out of town a lot, so that hasn't really worked out. But also, yeah, knowing how to price, even just like a single visit, knowing how to price that. I know how 2 other clinics are priced. I actually got to sit down with another clinic owner, and he felt that he was the lowest priced in the city until I told him what I charge. He's like, oh, you're the lowest in the city, but I'm also the newest in the city. So, and then also with the cash, there's this gray area of maintenance and prevention, which insurance actually doesn't reimburse for. And so that's where, you know, someone finishes their plan of care with me, but then, you know, they want to be seen once a month going forward. That's a bit of a gray area to bill under insurance and would be better under like a cash pay maintenance model, and then doing like maybe a shorter visit with that. So that's something that I need to explore. And then finally, there's kind of an ergonomics can of worms I don't want to get too far into, but this isn't my only business idea. I have training in ergonomic workstation assessments. That was my part-time job when I was in physical therapy school. And so that's another cash-based service that I could offer. And I'm not sure if I want to do that through this company. I also have a business name for just the exclusive kind of ergonomics side of what I eventually want to do. So my big ask on this challenge is just, I guess, yeah, more mentoring on how to price yourself in something that you believe is a basic human right. I'm not out to price gouge people. I just want to make rent. So that's definitely been a challenge for me. And my final challenge is what any business has, which is just reaching new clients. So right now I've got pretty much no morning patients. My most popular appointment is 1 o'clock, actually. That surprised me. So 1 o'clock and on, I've been doing okay, but no one wants to come in before noon, which has been really interesting. So I've actually picked up a PRN position at Presbyterian. And so that's been really nice because it's flexible. So I can go do outpatient at the hospital in the morning and then come to my clinic in the afternoon. But eventually I would like to find some morning patients. I also have no established doctor referrals. I'm brand new to Albuquerque, I visited one time on my way to Santa Fe the year before we moved, not even knowing that we would be moving here the following year. So I've got no doctor connections for referrals that way. I've been attempting to do some workshops to reach new people. So through my clinic, and I'm also talking to a couple other business owners, a CrossFit gym, and a kind of yoga, aged fitness kind of place to host some workshops through them to reach new clients. And then I've also got a community blog on my website. So instead of me writing my own blog, I've asked other people if they want to write a blog for me, and then I will post that on my website and they can become like a resource. So I've got prenatal care and also coaching and other things. And I've sometimes done a trade and written a blog for them in exchange. And then you get that backlink to help boost your SEO. So that's another thing I've been doing to build that community trust and community connection. So the ask on this one is just if you got any family, friends, maybe even yourself who need physical therapy or want to post on the blog or want to host a workshop or just collaborate in any way, I would love to collaborate.
We'll take questions for Julia if you want to form a line here. We'll also take questions online. Julie, I'm going to stop your slides, but I'll put your contact information in the chat for the other. You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Brian with Million Custom Software. Nice job. My mom is a registered nurse. My father owns his own pulmonary practice down in Silver City. And, you know, he's just kind of winding down, picking up shifts in Santa Fe. But I'm sure if you offered to take my mom out to lunch, she would talk to you about all of the wonderful things associated with getting prior authorizations and making sure that things are medically necessary and the hours and hours and hours and hours and hours that she spends on dealing with insurance companies. So that's like her full-time job. Like, so for medical practice, one doctor, maybe about 4 or 5 physician assistants, medical assistants, and 1 or 2 registered nurses. There's 40 hours a week of dealing with insurance because they just reject and they don't want to pay. And that makes their profit margin better. So.
Yes. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'll definitely connect with you to get more information afterwards.
Okay.
Thank you.
Come on up, Miriam.
Hello, Miriam Ortiz-Pino with More Than Organized. I'm interested what you've tried already for packaging your services. I do a whole, I have a whole module in my coaching that deals with pricing and packaging services, service-based business. So that you can make your rent and much more. But I'm wondering what you've tried already. I'm not as familiar with a medical practice, although I've helped acupuncturists and massage therapists before. So
So I've tried 2 cash-based packages. The first one is kind of I forget what I even called it because I haven't promoted it yet. I kind of created it, but I have so much other stuff to do. But it's kind of a gift you would give to a pregnant woman. So it's 6 visits, so 3 prenatal and 3 postnatal visits for kind of labor and delivery prep that I do, and then also that postpartum recovery. So that she could buy it for herself, or it's a nice gift to give. And then the other one is I have watched some like PT marketing stuff, and they talked about, you know, put up expensive package based on your website, and people might not necessarily buy it, but then like, oh, there's someone out there buying it. So then like a 5-pack of visits doesn't seem as crazy. So I did that like unlimited PT for a month or 2 or something.
terrible idea.
So yeah, well, also because also I've been going out of town a lot, so it doesn't make sense for someone to do that when I'm not gonna be there, but.
Yeah. And that's a really good point. Matching what you want your schedule to be, like how you want to run your business to what you're offering is key to then figuring out. So we'll talk.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much.
Marilyn Pruitt with our Peaceful Path Life Coaching. Couple of questions. First, have you considered contacting like trainers, high school trainers, and get some input from them, because they deal with a lot of injured people who won't stop what they're doing just because they're injured. That's one thing. And the other thing is, have you considered going to somebody for billing all of this who's had those years of experience already?
The athletic training one's a great idea because I actually have experience as an athletic trainer. So that would be a connection I'd have with someone. And actually my clinic's located really close to the El Dorado High School. And I do know one student there because she came and was a model for me when I did the photo shoot for my clinic. So that's actually a great idea. So and she's on, I think, the cross country team. So see if through her, maybe she can connect me with the trainers that way. So that's a great idea. And then, what was your other question?
For the insurance? Have you?
Oh, the insurance. Well, I'm totally bootstrapping this thing. So the more I can do on my own, I really, especially like, I haven't paid myself. I'm really scared to commit to paying someone else when I don't know when the money's coming in. Because it's at least, 30 days out kind of. So my goal is really to become my own expert. I have figured out that sometimes it's just like I'm missing one code. Like I just forgot to put 2 letters enter a code, and now it's gone through, and now I've gotten that reimbursed. So sometimes if it's just some small things, I think once I have it down, I'll be good. Hopefully I get to the volume maybe where it makes sense to hire someone for billing, but I'm really trying to do it myself to save on costs.
Morning. So I'm Michael McDonald. I'm a retired guy. That hangs around here a lot. So actually, the thing about the finding your connections, I think that the start point could be, and that's what I didn't hear, is like finding your specialty. Like when I think about going to a physical therapist and think about how I go to them, I usually look for, I talk to people who are in my situation, and they say, oh, this person's great for athletics, or this person's great for for older athletes. course, that's me, or they might have some different thing. Maybe yours, you mentioned ergonomics, like if you were working with a company on the ergonomics, maybe they would send you their people who are doing some kind of medical fixes. But I'm curious, what is your passion and desire to go in for your specialty?
Yeah, because I technically have three, and all the time I'll, help someone with their shoulder and they're like, I feel great. Do you treat feet? I'm like, yeah, everything. I do everything. But yeah, again, you can't market to everyone and everything. It is better to niche down. So, probably women's health, just because the kind of 40 to 50-year-old woman is probably my target demographic, because she's probably got kids who are in sports. She's probably got a husband who's a desk worker. She's got parents who need, balance and strengthening, and she herself may need pelvic floor care. So probably pelvic floor would be the one for me to focus on. And also I do find those cases really rewarding and can get better in sometimes like 3 visits.
Okay, this is kind of going to repeat a suggestion that other people offer often. So it's once you figure out that specialty, step yourself through how would they get to you, and think about connecting with those people, right? Like if it's women's specialties, maybe you want to talk with women doctors that specialize in women. Maybe it's something like that. But just think through your ideal customer, your ideal customer's normal path in, and then hit that.
All right, thank you.
I'm Daniel Turno. I have 2 businesses. I have a salon studio suite, and I also have a graphic design, marketing, and branding business. I wanted to speak to your comments about your ergonomic business, possibly, and just from my experience. I would recommend sort of building that company out and that branding it up on its own. Maybe don't spend lots of time and money on it, but I feel like if you conflate the 2 businesses, people get confused and then they don't really act on either one. And maybe just have some sort of cross referral between the 2, but really kind of just my suggestion, treat it like 2 businesses.
Thank you. Actually, I really appreciate you saying that, because my sister and her boyfriend actually kind of started their own branding and design company. So I am their first client also. And so I have actually branded the ergonomics business. But it's just taken a backseat to getting this one off the ground. And my idea was actually to kind of fund the ergonomics one through this one. But yeah, I appreciate that you said it's separate, because that is kind of what I wanted to do. I just thought it might be more complicated and maybe not worth doing. So I appreciate you saying that.
It's easier to run 2.
To run 2? Okay, thank you.
Good morning. I'm Clifton Chadwick with Comunicaciones Copperpelli. And I have to say, I've watched so many people pay the landlord without a business plan. So I'm glad you've come here. I think you're right. You need to probably save money up front. But I did text you the phone number of a medical billing specialist so that you can interview her and find out everything, including competitive pricing. Okay, she works with a lot of different people. And I also wanted to suggest, that you want to buy a burner phone and then make up a case and then call around and ask people about their pricing. It's a fairly common practice. I'm sure everybody's done a little bit of competitive snooping by calling people and pretending to be one thing when they're another. So that, I think that's the short version. Thank you.
Thank you. I may need to do some snooping to get the pricing from some other clinics too, maybe.
Steve Cuomo, Santa Fe Fashion Week, and also Beyond Energy, helping out my doctor friend with that. I graduated from high school. You're right there. But I was wondering, are you seeing any like TikTok videos or YouTube and stuff like that to kind of get the word out? I see a lot of like physical therapist people on TikTok.
No, I thought about doing social media. It's just, and I've done it actually through other companies I've worked for. So I was actually part of the marketing team for the first clinic that I worked for, which is why I thought maybe I could do this. I have some experience. And it's just a lot of effort for, I just thought it just takes so long to build a following, and you're not necessarily reaching the local people that you want, because I can only treat people, I can technically treat people in the state of Illinois as well, but I can really only treat people in New Mexico. So I don't need to be reaching people in Atlanta or wherever else. So I really wanted to focus on like boots on the ground kind of stuff and going in person to places.
Right.
I joined the Newcomers Club, if anyone knows what that is. My mom sent me there. She's part of the club. Mom, thank you for sending me, but also you would be young in this club.
Well, I was just gonna suggest, like YouTube and even TikTok, because it is SEO friendly. So if you are giving tidbits, and it's an investment in time, but over time, like I like YouTube because it lives forever, and then you can link it back to your websites, just a lot.
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen some really successful other people, especially in like pelvic floor. There's some people that I follow who make great content that I follow, but also it is a little bit repetitive. So I have like an ebook that I wrote, and in following these other people with an established following, we're all kind of saying the same thing. So I don't know, yeah, to make it in an original way, but if I can come up with a way that's not too time consuming, but is still useful and kind of original, then it's something, yeah, maybe further down the line I would look into.
Sounds great. Nice meeting you.
Hello, my name is William Baum, and I'm a nurse practitioner. And previously I had roles as a quality manager for federally qualified health centers. And so some of the billing issues would come to bear in quality improvement projects. So I wanted to ask what your principal demographic was in terms of insurance payment among your clients. Do you have like a large percentage that's Medicare or Medicaid, or are they mostly privately insured?
It's primarily Medicare. I just got in with Medicaid, so I haven't actually even announced that I accept that, but it's primarily Medicare. And actually it was really interesting coming from Illinois, the insurance landscape here is totally different. So being from Illinois, where Blue Cross Blue Shield originated, they're the best payer by far. But I came here and found they don't pay the same. And actually Medicaid pays quite well here versus in Illinois. I didn't know a single clinic that took Medicaid versus I decided to take it here. And then I've never heard of Presbyterian since that's local. So I'm actually hoping to have more Presbyterian once I'm in network in February. And then the really big one though I need to get is TRICARE. With my TRICARE connection through my husband, he actually works in the med group, and I'm friends with one of the gynecological nurses, and because they don't offer pelvic floor PT, it's not a conflict of interest to send them to me. So TRICARE is the really big one I need to get, but they only open in applications 4 times a year, and they skipped last October, so I'm praying for February. But yeah.
So the reason I'm asking this, at least this could apply for your privately insured patients, and forgive me if you already mentioned this, but you can potentially give them a super bill and then let the client seek reimbursement with their insurance company. I don't know if you investigated this as an option, because I know for my daughter, when we were getting her assessed for developmental delays, which thankfully she doesn't have any, but we saw a number of independent practitioners, whether that's OT, PT, and chiropractic, actually. They were all using this model of just creating the super bill and having the client seek reimbursement. And eventually you do get the money back. It could take up to a year, but that could be another option for some of your clients if you're not credentialed with a specific insurance company.
That's actually a good idea for some that I'm struggling with right now. I guess I just need to do more research how to do that. Because again, it's confusing. So like United Healthcare, for example, you can charge $1,000. You can spend 10 hours with a patient, do the best care ever. They're going to give you $70. It doesn't matter what you did, how long you spent for physical therapy, you get $70 for that session. So, but then, Blue Cross, they do it totally different. So I don't know, super billing, like, I get there's still a lot I don't know. Like when I send out a super bill, is it based on what I charge, or is it based on what they reimburse? But I do know of other clinic owners that branched off from a company I used to work for, and I know they do super billing. I kind of peruse their website. So actually, that's a great idea. I'm going to look more into that for the complicated ones. Thank you.
One more thing. Because there are many primary care providers, you may consider reaching out to some of them. I know being a primary care provider myself, at least in previous roles, if I put in a referral for 8 visits and I have, some kind of medically necessary reason to do so, the insurance company will almost always pay. Because typically PT is less expensive than a lot of other options. And if it can be resolved with PT, they're actually saving money compared to sending somebody to an orthopedic specialist, which is one of the most expensive medical specialties once you get to like surgery and so on. But yeah, there are many primary care providers and they can put in a referral. And so that would kind of alleviate some of the prior authorization issues you might be facing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the big thing is I just don't know anything. So my first patient actually was workers' comp, which was great. I was really excited because then you get a case manager or someone I could actually, an individual person I could call and ask questions. So I called her and I was like, how do you want me to submit the claims? Do you have a form? Do you have a portal? And she was like, just use the standard claim form and fax it in. It's like, yep, I will. And I hung up. I was like, what is the standard claim? It's just literally filling out that form. It's my clerical errors that's getting rejected, not because of like the services I did. It's literally, it's clerical reasons for the rejections. So yeah, and luckily I haven't had to deal too much with auth, but I do know, and luckily my EDI I can look up benefits and auth through there.
Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Mercedes Wharton, Timmy's Closet. I'm a style crusader. Have you thought about maybe doing like a business launch? Or, well, I was sitting there thinking about that. So you present, this is what I do. When I started, I would tell people I'm an image consultant, or I'm going to become an image consultant. Nobody really knew what that was, what it meant. So I did a business launch and I invited people to come hear me speak. Is that maybe something you could do, and also reach out to Presbyterian, University of New Mexico, UNMH, and see if there's someone that you can go and speak to them and have a presentation and tell them what you do, because maybe that will help you get, oh, I know somebody, and maybe get referrals that way, or start down the pipeline to get people, and maybe lead you also to how do I do this? Because yeah, I've been there. I get it. So I don't know, maybe that's something you can think of. Reach out. I would just go up to somebody and say, this is what I'm doing. And then either they'll tell you no, or they'll send you to the right person, or they're like, I need you. So to ask, just ask. Do the ask.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, this kind of is my business, I guess, presenting to all of you. And it is really great because now I have this presentation that, yeah, I could take elsewhere and give this presentation elsewhere. So that is a really great idea.
This is like practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I did actually walk into the women's hospital and just asked if I could get on their referral list. And the person at the triage kind of kiosk was like, you're looking for a physical therapist? I'm like, I am a physical therapist. You're right here. So actually, and I did manage to get on some kind of list with them that way. So that was good. But yeah, I like that idea that, yeah, to take this presentation and bring it elsewhere. Yeah. Thank you.
Good morning, Julie. How are you?
How are you?
Good. I'm going to be a collaborator with her. And we're going to do a workshop at your space. I'm going to introduce the crystal sound bath that I do. It'll be a free event, I'm thinking. And then to kind of demonstrate to the public and people maybe from 1 Million Cups that want to come and see the sound work that I do in therapy. And Julie really has a lovely little studio, and it's right next to the Flying Star. So you can get coffee and snacks and then come over and get your sound on or your physical therapy. And the other thing that I wanted to ask you about is I've been in physical therapy for my knee. And when I went to the Albuquerque orthopedics, I felt kind of like an assembly line process where there was like, a full group of people kind of recycling through and, oh, we're going to put you on the treadmill and we're going to do this exercise. And so I wanted to ask you, what do you do different as an individual PT that would make you stand out from the big group?
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm really excited for our event. I'm a big fan of like training services. So I just want to sit in your sound experience. I'm happy to lend my space to you. The first clinic that I worked for was acquired by a ginormous company that was run by investors, not PTs. And their kind of slogan was like, we treat everyone. But underneath that is some insurers just reimburse really bad. And so you can't treat everyone and accept every insurance unless you're boosting the bad insurance with the good insurance. So that means you're having patients come in every 30 minutes. This is actually why my husband joined the Air Force. He got super burnt out where he was working. So every 30 minutes is a new person, but you need to bill a certain number of units. So now you've got one person on the table, another person on the floor doing exercise, and you're working on someone while you're yelling at that person on the floor, their next exercise. And it's just, there's no individual attention. Yeah, you have to put someone on a treadmill because at some point, maybe even you have 3 people because of they're staying for exercise, and it's just, there's no individual attention. And then you get into the cheats of like, hey, everyone gets the same exercise handout. And you're just trying to get through the day at that point. Like he would see 17 people a day, which is just kind of outrageous. So I'm doing a 55-minute one-on-one. And because it looks totally different for everyone, and pelvic floor, a lot of the time, half the treatment is education. So we might even spend 3/4 of the visit just talking, educating, getting to the root of the problem and getting to the reasonable lifestyle changes or incremental changes we're going to make that will actually give you the change in symptoms. And then we spend, maybe a couple minutes on 1 or 2 exercises that are going to be the most effective for that person, or that I'm going to totally adapt something for that person. Or there's the other person who maybe needs manual therapy for 3/4 of the visit. They can't even access a muscle. You can't strengthen a muscle if you can't access it even to turn it on. And so it's just super, super individualized. You get my undivided attention. And because I have those different specialties, I have had people come in with undiagnosed scoliosis that is significantly contributing to their symptoms. And I'm able to identify that and shift the treatment to treat for that. So I actually love the complicated cases. The clinics I've worked for in the past, that's been our specialty, are those chronic pain, complicated cases. I've been like their last resort. They've gone to 5 other PTs. They really don't want surgery. And I'm like, great, because process of elimination, you've eliminated a lot of stuff going to all those other therapists. Now I can come in with my specialized training and really get to the root of the issue.
Well, yeah, and I also wanted to say that, going into the physical therapy and being on this kind of like treadmill assembly line, it made it feel a little stressful when I'm wanting to alleviate stress and feel better. And one of the PTs was like, she was just, so short and brief, and I kind of felt like I wanted more personalized service. And I'm going to see if I can maybe switch over and if you'll accept the insurance and come in and get some treatment for you, because I feel that's what we're missing in the medical industry, is this kind of personalized. Everything's become more, okay, you check in, before on your phone, and then they come and see you real quick and they usher you out, and there's no like follow-up that's done kind of personally. And anyways, I really want to try to support you and collaborate, and also see you flourish, because it's like being someone who experiences this stuff. Want to see some solutions in the business instead of like more complaints.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hi, you guys, Dr. Julie or just Julie?
Julia's fine.
I'm Dr. Noor Dawson.
Well, then I'm Dr. too.
I'm Dr. Noor. And I appreciate your education, which you've gone through here, and appreciate your presentation, short and sweet, to the point, and you described your challenges. And I go by Dr. Noor. I'm in the dementia defense business. I'm a retired chiropractor, but I totally empathize with all the stuff that you're going through, getting started, learning the insurance, trying to find patients and connecting with the neighborhood. I'm going to ask you, do you play golf? Oh, great. So you hang out with the other professional people in the golf course?
No, I haven't played here, but I have the ability to play.
Okay, so I would recommend that you start to schmooze with some of those doctors.
That's where they go, okay.
Okay, good.
They're all doctors.
Okay. That will get you a lot of connection. You get in tight with one female doctor or even an attorney or another older guy that say, you know, my back. And get to know them, and they will just send you tons and tons of people. So use your golfing skills and connect with people.
Perfect. Thank you. I love that. I'm actually though, so I definitely want more patients, but I've actually been okay with like the rate that they've been trickling in just because of this billing thing. Like if I was inundated with patients, I wouldn't be able to
Figure it out.
I'd figure it out at 3 a.m. on Tuesday. But yes, thank you for telling me where all the doctors are.
This will be our last question.
Hi, Julie. My name's Hillary Malu. I'm currently a hospice RN, but in my last lifetime, I was a massage therapist in the Seattle area for about 11 years. And I, of course, is in the same conundrum that you are about insurance. And I found after a while that it was so worth my while to talk to a billing expert, at least have them like pay them for an hour of advice. Or I also found it very interesting that some billing experts, you know, it's not like they'll do everything. They might charge you for just some level of the billing. And it was so worth it because I hated doing the billing after a while. Like you say, it was one little number, one little code. I remember United Healthcare used to send back rejections because even though I clearly stated it was for massage, they're like, you know, it's like, we don't pay for removing a toenail or something, you know, they just find any excuse. And there really was, I don't know if it's the same for PT, but there really was a standard form. And after a while, yeah, you could work with that. And also want to talk to you about your calendar because I'm interested and I want to make an appointment. So good for you.
Thank you so much. I actually didn't know that you could just kind of pay for an hour of someone's time because I would 100% do that. I just kind of want someone to hold my hand. Yeah. So yeah, that's great that I thought I'd have to like, oh, you hire a billing person that just works for you, but I would love to hire someone just for, yeah, an hour or two or consultation as needed. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you guys all for awesome input and feedback and questions. That was great. And now for the New Mexico State question, the most important of all, and I know you're fairly new, but we chatted about this one a little bit. Red or green? Red. Yay! See? That's me. I told her, I was like, I did this when I was pretty new and I said Christmas and I got scalped. I do that. Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you guys very much. Do we have announcements?
Yeah, we have some events we can share.
Actually, is it okay if I start with one?
Yes.
It's kind of a weird one. I currently have a client that is dying and her major concern at this point is finding a home for her elderly cat. If anybody is interested or knows anybody who is available to adopt a 16, 17-year-old, super sweet, still very healthy cat, please come see me.
Some of you may know, may not know that our friend Jeff Hall, who worked with economic development at the state of New Mexico and was here a couple times providing presentations on resources that the state has for entrepreneurs. He unexpectedly passed away a couple days ago. And there is a GoFundMe page set up for him to help his wife with funeral services. So if anyone is interested or hasn't already received the GoFundMe link and would like to contribute, please let me know and I'll share that with you. I'm also happy to share the announcements list. Just send me an email to lisa@valkybebbq.com. I have to rush out today, right after, to get up to the Bioscience Center to set up for Miriam's presentation. So we'll just talk about that first. The 5 essential business systems that transform your productivity. We don't have a lot of registrations. If anybody that's here today would like to join us, it's a 10-minute drive at 5:40 to the Bioscience Center. Starts at 11:30. We'll be in the small conference room, and so I'd love to have you join us. Mary, bring your laptop, but I'll bring mine too, just in case you need a backup, and I have your presentation. Thank you. 1 Million Cups is replaying on the Catharsis Media channel. Kyle talked about that last week. So they're every Sunday night at 8 p.m. And if you've presented in the last few months, it's likely that your session will be replayed there. So do you want to say anything more?
Absolutely. Hi, I am Kyle with Catharsis Media. Yeah, we go and film every week here, and we are starting to air those episodes. As a heads up, I have been informed that while the episode does do a first run at 8 p.m. on Sunday, that is mostly a test run to make sure that it is on the channel. So there's a potential that, our programming might be a little off on that. So that we can ensure that it airs for the second time, Wednesdays at noon, pretty much after things wrap up here. You can go and get a double dose of 1 Million Cups on Wednesdays. That has been the time that our executive director is promoting all of us to go and say to our community producers is talk about the second run, as the first run is more of a test.
So the second run is when?
Wednesdays at noon.
Okay.
It's 97, right?
Channel 96.
Oh, 96.
Yes, Comcast Channel 96. If you do not have Comcast, you are more than welcome to go onto catharsismedia.org. That's catharsis with a K, media.org. And there is a watch tab on there that has a live stream of our channel on all times.
Awesome. We'll get that right next weekend.
Thank you.
Activate NM's drop-in mentoring, they changed the date. It's now going to be January 26th. And they did that out of respect for Jeff because his funeral is the 19th. So if anybody's interested in that, I have details as well. And then Marty McNabb, show and tell. We need people to apply to play with us. So if you haven't already applied, just show something unique that has a story behind it, like my smoke shop signs, then sign up. You'll get to showcase your item here on the shelves, and then we'll have an event so that we can all talk about them. Let's see. And then there's an event called Real Talk Real Results, Mastering the Sales Cycle. That's Barbara Dawson's 4-month-long stint. Will be in the 3rd month. And did I get the date right? This is the last one, so I'll have to update. Do you know the February? February 7th, and it'll be right here at Fat BBQ.
And just
Come on up.
if I may. Barbara Dawson with Purple Mulch. And one of the things I did after our last class, our last workshop, I realized that there's an awful lot that we need to practice, and an hour and a half just isn't long enough. So what I've done is I've put together a Zoom call Thursdays at 3 to 4:30. Or anybody that wants to come in and practice the skills that we talk about, we teach, come on in, and I'll put you all in breakout rooms and you can practice with each other and then come back to the main room and we'll go from there. So if you need more information, see me on that, because I really want people to get comfortable. Oh, there's no charge. My husband's signing to me, and there's no charge. No, it's a free Zoom call. Just come in, and so see me if you need information on that. Thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome. Does the city have anything to do with this? Come on over. I'm gonna make you do it.
Good morning, Ken Jackson, City of Albuquerque and the KJ Effect. The announcement is our next resource fair, February 5th, from 4 to 7 at Holiday Park Community Center. The address is 11710 Comanche Northeast. And if you would like to have a free table, it is a business to business event, free to the public, free to have a table. You can email me at kenjackson@cabq.gov. Cool. Everybody get it? Yes?
Yes.
All right.
Does anybody else want to announce an event? We have a few more minutes and I see some new faces. If you have never been to 1 Million Cups before, or maybe you haven't been since we've all come back after COVID, please come up here. Please come up here. It's easy. Come on. Yeah. I'd like you to introduce yourself. Tell us how you heard about 1 Million Cups and maybe why you're here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Terry. I heard about I'm so
That
sorry.
way they can see you on.
Oh, okay. I actually heard about 1 Million Cups a couple of years ago when I was in a workshop at C&M. I forgot the name of it, but it was a business workshop. And I kind of hit a wall. So I'm working on some different ideas. I am the president of a nonprofit organization called Yes, Yes, God Bless. So what we are trying to do is, it's not for profit, but I have two ideas, but I've been researching remote viewing. And to my understanding, remote viewing is the 8th step of the Eightfold Path in Buddhism. So basically, I want to use Yes, Yes, God Bless to kind of share the information with people. So when I was 11 years old, I accidentally had an out-of-body experience. So I'm actually, possibly this week, I'm going to work on a video on Udemy, udemy.com, and give it away for free. It's one of those things where you learn the process, but it's also, once you know the process, allowing yourself to actually go there, because it will entirely change your life. So I'm working on that. And secondly, I'm a hip hop artist. So it's one of those things where most people are like, oh, good for you, congratulations. But as far as it goes, I like to say that I'm a proud graduate of the This Is 50 boot camp. So I've been working on hip hop for 16 years. And I moved to New York a couple of years ago, and I moved back. And there was a gentleman who was hosting these competitions. And basically, he gave me some really, really good advice. I call him the Chef Ramsay of hip hop. So New York people, if you're not good, they'll be like, get out of here. But if you present something, they'll be like, okay, this is good. He basically told me to learn the streaming platform and your life will change. So my mind kind of works in a way where I'm an artist, but I don't necessarily know what to do or how to get my music out there. I've partnered with an engineer, a local engineer named Lance. He built a studio called Folklore Studio. And for the last year, we've been recording a lot of music and presenting it. But as far as it goes, when you talk about hip hop, why? Why does it matter? Well, I don't know if any of you guys follow hip hop or the music industry, but basically it has taken a turn kind of for the worse. It's gotten a kind of bad in a way, and I see that it's a form of hypnosis. So basically my why is I want to present music that is, and it's already written, everything's copywritten, everything like that, but I'm hitting walls, I don't know what to do. So it's basically one of those things where, to be completely honest, I want to present a different image in the music industry right now because it's kind of derogatory, it's kind of bad right now as compared to the 90s. Right. So my music right now, it's called, the album I'm working on is a 27-track album that I plan to sell for $1. So it's called Cosmic Party, a story about partying, politicking, and preaching. So basically I go in there and I present music that is respectful to women. And secondly, is political, but also I want to allow people to have a relationship with God. So I'm a Jesus-loving Buddhist, and my thing is, yeah. So my thing is I want to kind of inspire other people to be a Jesus-loving Buddhist, but as far as it goes right now, there's a power in music. And so it's one of those things where I presented a song to DJ Envy. I don't know if you guys know who that is, on the Breakfast Club. So I presented a song last year or the year before to Bars for Breakfast. I made it to the second round, but I didn't get onto the mixtape. But they gave me an 8.5 on one of my songs. So years past when I lived in New York, I actually made it onto the X Factor, but I got cut right before making it onto the actual show. So as far as it goes, it's one of those things where I don't know what to do, how to do what I'm doing, but yes, sir.
KUNM has got a new show on Tuesday nights. I believe it's called Live 505, and they're going to be looking for acts and whatnot, so you might check with them.
Thank you. And it's called what again? KUNM?
Don't trust me, the station is KUNM
Okay.
95.89. Premier public radio station, really the only thing any of us needs to listen to.
Yeah, make it write it down.
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Fine, fine.
Go on up.
We allow artists to present at Million Cup.
May I please?
You need to apply, but yes, absolutely.
So good morning. Once again, my name's Hillary Malu. I'm actually a native here. I've lived many places and I moved back 5 years ago to get my nursing career going. And now I'm easing out of that and moving into what I love to do, which is organize. I just get energized and excited to organize, especially other people's stuff. And okay. Anyway, I kind of have a general, I have some general ideas and I've done it a little bit for pay for other people, but I'd like to get more organized in my organizing. So I'll be here more often and look forward to doing that.
Great. Want me to apply as well. So it's a wrap, guys. It's 9 or 10 o'clock. Thank you so much for coming every week and supporting our entrepreneurs. We do have a few people in the queue, but we're always looking for new presenters. So if it's either been 6 months or more, or you've never presented, let's see some applications. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.